I just want the record to show that this is technically Skitten's hat. When we bought these hats, my hat was the Power Ranger one, which is the better one. But this one matches with my squid shirt, which is why it's the one I wear. SCP-3008, the Infinite IKEA. I'm assuming it's a horror IKEA store. I don't know. Just like the coffee machine, I'm not quite sure what direction this is going. This is the 5th SCP I've ever seen in my life. So this is all pretty new, and I don't know if exciting fits it because it's an IKEA store. So I don't know. We just recently got IKEA here in Vegas. Anyways, we'll get into it. So. Just because I said creepy IKEA? Is that what you're doing this for?
Yeah.
Okay. What happened to your pants? What, aren't you going to work?
The ghost stole them.
What the fuck? How did you lose your pants? Alright, here we go. Play.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking...
And so we're back to the Vulcan today, but we're going back to Illustrated tomorrow, SCP Illustrated tomorrow. You won't see it till tomorrow. I'm shooting it today.
Yeah, today is SCP-3008. Object Class, Euclid. Initial containment procedures.
Here we go.
The retail park containing SCP-3008 has been purchased by the Foundation and converted into site. All public roads leading to or passing by site have been redirected.
So it's a whole ass
The
IKEA
entrance
store.
to SCP-3008 is to be monitored at all times, and no one is to enter SCP-3008 outside of testing, as permitted by the senior researcher.
Okay.
Humans exiting SCP-3008 are to be detained and then debriefed prior to the administration of amnestics. Dependent upon the situation of their stay in SCP-3008, a cover story may need to be generated prior to their release.
So it's not like the other SCP-3000 we just watched, where the people who came in contact with it were detained indefinitely because they were going crazy by darkness, eel, mind touching. Or massaging, if you will.
Any other entities exiting SCP-3008 are to be terminated.
Entities exiting?
Description.
What like horrified, horror Swedish meatballs? The little... Got it.
SCP-3008 is a large retail unit previously owned by and branded as IKEA, a popular furniture retail chain. A person entering SCP-3008 through the main entrance and then passing out of sight of the doors will find themselves translocated into SCP-3008-1. This displacement will typically go unnoticed, as no change will occur from the perspective of the victim. They will generally not become aware until they try to return to the entrance.
Okay.
SCP-3008-1 is a space resembling the inside of an IKEA furniture store, extending far beyond the limits of what could physically be contained within the dimensions of the retail unit.
Okay.
Current measurements indicate an area of at least 10 kilometers squared.
Holy Jesus!
With no visible external terminators detected in any direction. Inconclusive results from the use of laser rangefinders has led to the speculation that the space may be infinite.
What?
SCP-3008-1 is inhabited by an unknown number of civilians trapped within prior to containment. Gathered data suggests that they have formed a rudimentary civilization within SCP-3008-1, including the construction of settlements and fortifications for the purpose of defending against SCP-3008-2.
What? What? So they were stuck, and it was like, alright, so you, just like us, got stuck in this IKEA. Let's build a house here. It's got everything we need. If we could just figure out these goddamn instructions.
SCP-3008-2 are humanoid entities that exist within SCP-3008-1.
Okay.
While superficially resembling humans, they possess exaggerated and inconsistent bodily proportions, often described as being too short or too tall. They possess no facial features, and in all observed cases, wear a yellow shirt and blue trousers consistent with the IKEA employee uniform.
This is horrifying and stupid. I appreciate it. But the faceless part freaks me out. Faceless things do kind of creep me out.
SCP-3008-1 has a rudimentary day-night cycle, determined by the overhead lighting within the space activating and deactivating at times consistent with the opening and closing times of the original retail store. During the night instances of SCP-3008-2 will become violent towards all other life forms within SCP-3008-1. During these bouts of violence, they have been heard to vocalize phrases in English that are typically variations of, "The store is now closed, please exit the building." Once day begins, SCP-3008-2 instances immediately become passive and begin moving throughout SCP-3008-1, seemingly at random. They are unresponsive to questioning or other verbal cues in this state, though will react violently if attacked.
Okay, so you can't just, this is my first thought, is can you just take them out then during the day so there's less of them at night? The answer is no. They just get violent. Alright.
SCP-3008-1 is known to have one or more exits located within, though these exits do not appear to have a fixed position, making it difficult to leave SCP-3008-1 once inside. Using any other door besides the main entrance to enter the structure or breaking through the walls of the retail unit leads into the non-anomalous interior of the original store. Since containment began, 14 individuals have managed to exit SCP-3008.
Nice.
Following extensive debriefing, all individuals have been administered amnestics and released.
Right, and the amnestics program was what SCP-3000 was about, getting like intense amnestic shits, but we have to feed people to them to get it. If you haven't seen that video, watch it. It's insanely good.
Incident 3008-1. At 0:37 hours on 2000, a human male exited SCP-3008, followed 10 seconds later by an instance of SCP-3008-2.
Oh, shit.
SCP-3008-2 caught and killed the man before itself being terminated by an armed response personnel. This incident represents the only time an instance of SCP-3008-2 has been seen exiting SCP-3008. A full autopsy on the corpse was performed. See 3008-2 autopsy log for more details.
I would love to see what's inside this thing. I bet you it's just mannequin parts.
The man was carrying an IKEA branded journal, seeming to document his time in SCP-3008-1.
Oh yeah, let's hear it, dude.
Transcribed below, verbatim.
So, I'm writing this to document what I can only assume is my sudden descent into insanity. I can't possibly be that bad a navigator. And yet, as I write this, I've been trapped in IKEA for 2 days. I haven't seen another person in the entire time I've been here. I thought it was a prank at first. Turn the place into a maze, get all the people out, and see how long it takes me to get lost. Then everyone has a good old laugh. Realized that wasn't the case when I tried to backtrack.
That's gotta be terrifying.
Everything had changed, so I ended up lost. Instead of the exit, it was just row after row of bookcases.
Dude, that's got, like, I'm telling you, like, okay, it's silly because it's dressed up as an IKEA, you know, it's got every IKEA branded thing, but the concept of going somewhere just to like enjoy your life, just living daily life, and then being sucked into another dimension, you don't even know it. The not knowing part would make it way worse. If you can see yourself being sucked in, at least you can understand and start to process what's happening. But to have to figure out that there's no exit has got to be just an insane like realization. And also, the second thing is, what are they eating? Because that's been really bothering me. What other people are eating? Do people just starve to death in here? Come on, man. You gotta be... Serve up some Swedish meatballs, man.
So, I'm trapped in an IKEA. Sounds like the setup for a bad joke.
Yes, it does, but
the
it's pretty
lights went
good.
out at 10 p.m., nearly giving me a fucking heart attack. That loud electrical thunk sound, and then pitch blackness. Place is full of beds, though, and my phone has a torch on it. But no damn signal.
Right.
So I found a bed and went to sleep. I spent most of the day trying to find my way out with no luck. Did find a restaurant serving those meatballs, though, so
they do serve the meatballs.
Don't starve. That's probably the punchline to that joke. Anyway, they were still warm and fresh, but I haven't seen anyone around who could have cooked them. Made my way back to the beds before the lights cut out again since it's too dark to search with them off. It's 9:10 a.m. now. The lights came back on a little while ago. I'm sure I've searched the entire area where I came in now, and the exit obviously isn't here, so I'm gonna pick a direction and hope for the best.
Okay.
Day 3 of my magical IKEA mystery adventure. If I wasn't sure that there was something seriously weird about this place before, I am now. Walked for 3 hours in a more or less straight line. Insert IKEA joke here. Before I came across a ladder next to one of those huge stock shelves they have here. Climbed up to get my bearings, and it looks like this place just stretches on forever.
That's gotta be freaky.
Like that scene from The Lion King, except instead of trees and grass, it was all shelves and tables and crap. I did see a person moving not too far away though, so I headed over. Thought it was a staff member at first. It was wearing a uniform.
It's so weird.
Well, maybe it was. Maybe freakish 7-foot-tall monsters with long arms, short legs, and no faces are just the kinds of thing that they want working at a super IKEA.
Oh, that's so creepy.
Damn thing completely ignored me though. And with no eyes or ears, I can't even be sure it knew I was there. Thought about shoving it or something to get its attention.
I don't think
But
yeah.
its hands were big enough to crush a watermelon, so
Right.
I decided against it. It just kept moving, and I eventually lost sight of it, so I decided to carry on the way I was going. Anyway, no comfy bed for me tonight. Looks like I've entered the improbably hard and pointy table section of the store. Guess I'll have to make do with some bunched up tablecloths. Phone battery died during the day too. Didn't work anyway, but I feel like I've just lost some vital lifeline.
Yeah, that's gotta be hard.
You ever see one of those cartoons where they're going through doors in a hallway and they just pop out of another door in the same hallway?
Yeah.
That's how I feel right
God.
now. I've seen nothing but the same identical bookshelf for 2 days now. Just row after row after row of them. I mean, come on! I love books just as much as the next guy, but this is excessive. I'm obviously still moving forwards, though. I can see the signs hanging overhead passing by. Too bad none of them say exit. Not sure who I was addressing that question to. Let's just say it was practice for the autobiography I'm gonna write when I get out of here. I'll call it my perfectly normal trip to a regular old IKEA, if I ever get out of here. Finally found some other people.
Wow.
Yeah, turns out I'm not the only poor bastard trapped in here. Lucky for me, I guess. My 6th night here.
So it only took him 6 nights, right, to find other individuals stuck inside the IKEA, okay? His rendition of this is actually pretty nice because it's just that same, it's like the same clueless feeling I think the rest of us would have, even though he's handling it very calmly. But what's interesting to me is that he's not doing anything to like mark where he's been walking or something. It seems like if you see the same things over and over again, you'd be wanting to mark them to know that you're not, you know, just going in circles. But I'll continue.
2 of those staff things came at me in the dark. Different from the first one I saw, but still messed up. Heard them coming. They were saying that the store was closed and I had to leave the building, all nice and polite like. I'm not sure which part of that was weirder. That they didn't have mouths, or that they were apparently trying to kill me while they were saying it. Came at me like rabid dogs.
Right.
So I legged it. Sprinting through IKEA in the dark like a fucking madman. I saw it when I cleared another stand in front of those giant stock shelves, all lit up with torches and floodlights. They've built a whole town here. Got a massive wall built out of shelves and beds and tables and whatever else. I swear to God it was the most beautiful thing I'd ever seen. Anyway, I guess they saw me coming, or they heard my manly bellows of fear.
It's okay to scream like a girl when chased by a deformed, aggressive IKEA employee.
Because they had a gate open, and 2 people were there waving me in. Heard the staff thing slam into the gate behind me after it closed, still politely informing us that the store was now closed. They wandered off eventually, though. They call the town Exchange, because that's what's on the sign hanging from the ceiling directly above it. Exchange and returns, all lit up against the night, using lights they found and plugged into the power lines. And there are beds, and food, and people, Over 50 wonderful people.
Wow.
With regular-sized limbs and a full set of facial
people.
features. It's now my 7th night here. And the first one not spent in darkness. A full week living in IKEA. There's probably a TV show in that.
Wow.
Now that I'm around other people, I'm starting to feel more normal. Maybe normal isn't the word, but after a week with only the sound of my own footsteps for company, I was becoming increasingly sure that I'd just gone nuts. That I was tied up in some padded room somewhere, banging my head against the wall. But no, I feel quite sane now, thank you very much. Apparently there are other towns out there. Some with more people, some with less. I found that fairly mind-boggling.
Yeah!
How can that many people go missing with no one noticing?
Right!
Surely someone would have noticed that everyone who goes to IKEA seems to f***ing vanish. Or maybe it's not everyone. Maybe we're just the lucky ones.
Oh, that's a really good point.
The people here just call those staff monster things the staff. Apparently they're fine during the day, minding their own business, walking the aisles. As soon as the lights go out, they go f***ing bonkers.
What's the point,
so,
man?
During the day, people go out to find food, water, and whatever else they need. Apparently there are restaurants and shops around that get randomly restocked. No one knows how. Maybe the staff do it. Apparently they aren't very good at their jobs though, because the restocking sometimes takes a while. Which means the food needs to be rationed.
They still need to ration food. Okay, it's not like
so busy chasing people around in the dark, they'd get more done.
So it's not like, okay, I definitely assumed it was like an automatic restocking, but that doesn't seem to be the case.
Anyway,
yeah.
When night comes, the staff go nuts and everyone holds up inside the walls. Apparently it's the same everywhere in this place, wherever this place is. The Your IKEA, from whence all other IKEAs sprang. Or maybe we're all still just in the regular IKEA and this is all some fever dream brought on by a mind-numbing boredom. Who knows? Been here for 10 days now. Most of the people I asked said they stopped keeping track a long time ago.
Oh, man.
One guy, Chris, said he'd been here for years. Years. Apparently there are rumors of people who do manage to get out. People who see the exit only to have it vanish before their very eyes. I get the feeling not everyone believes that, but I do. Explains how he got stuck in here in the first place. Sort of. And I mean, come on. Staff monsters, row after row of high-quality Swedish furniture. I don't know why they would find a disappearing door so hard to believe in. Anyway, I went out scavenging for food in a nearby shop with Sandra and Jerry today. Once you learn the landmarks of this place, it's not so hard to navigate. The overhead signs help a lot, but there are others. Not too far in the distance, a huge section of those giant stock shelves is collapsed against each other, and way off in the east, we all assume it's east anyway. Apparently IKEA doesn't sell compasses. Some kind of tower that looks like it's made of wood, reaches all the way up to the ceiling. Maybe they were trying to break out through the roof.
Right, yeah, definitely like a Tower of Babel situation, just trying to climb out through the top.
Up at night, so there must be people there. But apparently, it's a few days' walk, which means it must be miles away. So no one here really knows for sure. Apparently, I got incredibly lucky sleeping out in the open for a week without getting ripped to bits by the staff. That's me. Lucky, lucky, lucky. We found some food in the shop. Guess the staff restocked it during the night, which was nice of them. There was a telephone on the wall, so I figured I'd try it out. There was a voice on the other end, but they were just talking nonsense. Random words strung together with no real meaning.
That's weird.
You ever see a video of someone with aphasia? Kinda sounded like that. Didn't answer me when I spoke to them anyway. Sandra says all the phones in here are the same. Oops. Asking the journal questions again.
Wait, what question did you... Yeah, what question did you ask there? Oh, talking about if we heard... Yeah, okay, I can see that. It didn't come across like crazy though. Yeah, right.
Pretty high, and as far as anyone can tell, it goes on forever. Shouldn't there be some kind of weather in here? I'm sure I read about some NASA building that was so big it had its own weather patterns, with clouds and stuff. This place is definitely bigger than that, but now that I think about it, I'm pretty sure I've never felt so much as a temperature change in here. I'll add it to the grand list of weird bullshit.
That shows you, though, it's like definitely like a pocket dimension going on, though, for real.
The staff attacked the exchange last night. Must have been 20 or 30 of them all just asking us to leave the store, calm as you like, while trying to smash the walls down with their bare hands. Apparently this happens pretty regularly, so everyone is prepared for it. Knives from the restaurants, lawnmower blades made into hatchets.
Lawnmower blades.
Fire axe.
That's a good one.
One guy, Wasim, even made a functional crossbow. Anyway, the walls have holes in them, which I hadn't noticed before. Specifically so we can stab out at the staff when they attack. Took a couple of them down myself. They don't seem to bleed.
I bet you they're mannequins inside, man.
But they go down as easy as a regular person once you start sticking holes in them. We had to haul the bodies away in the morning.
I was reading the text and didn't see that creepy ass face that you guys are going to see huge as hell here, and I'm not sorry. Enjoy.
Apparently the dead ones will attract more during the night, so we had to get them away from exchange. We have a couple of those trolley things they use to move big boxes around, so we loaded them up and took them over to pickup. Apparently people just name everything in here after whatever sign is hanging overhead. Pickup was grisly. There were hundreds, maybe thousands of dead staff.
Wow.
All piled up. There was no smell, which was a blessing. Apparently, in addition to not bleeding, these things don't rot either. My curiosity got the better of me while we were unloading them, so I took a look at one of the more cut up ones. They're just skin, or something that looks like skin, all the way through. No muscle, no bone, no organs. Are they even really alive?
That's
in the
weird.
first place? It certainly seemed like they have bones when they're moving around, pounding on the walls. And I'm sure I felt more resistance than just skin when the knife went in during the night. Maybe something happens to them when they die. Just one more thing on the ever-increasing list of weird shit that goes on.
That's good. That's another layer that's getting kind of creepy.
Something occurred to me. After the staff attack the other night, every time you see a situation like this on TV or in a film, like it's the end of the world or everyone is trapped on an island or whatever, once groups like ours start to form, people always seem to turn on each other, fighting for food or dominance or whatever else. That hasn't happened here. Apparently people from other towns come by from time to time, just to check in or occasionally trade if they're short on something. But everything is always cordial. Friendly, even. Maybe it's the threat of the staff, or perhaps the constant restocking of supplies in the shops means there's nothing much to fight over. Maybe people are just better than they're generally given credit for. That's a nice thought.
Okay.
I think I'll go with that one.
Yeah, okay. I was waiting for another twist of maybe it's the IKEA doing it, but maybe it's just not. Maybe it's just like that.
A dozen people showed up at the gates this afternoon from a town called Trolleys. Apparently the staff broke through the walls and tore the town apart during the night. These 12 are the only survivors.
Oh no.
Out of over 100.
Oh no.
We let them in, obviously. One more point in the human decency column. Later, I asked if anyone knew how many of these towns were out there. Between us and the new folks, we managed to come up with over 20 names. 20 towns filled with people, and who knows how many beyond that. The motto for this place should be, how is that even possible? Surely someone, somewhere, must be looking for the thousands of people that must be in here. I've been here for a little over 2 months now. Not that much changes, as it turns out. A couple of new people showed up. Same story as the rest of us. Nice little trip to IKEA, and suddenly they're trapped in Billy Bookcase's house of faceless weirdos.
That's a good one. Billy Bookcase's house of faceless weirdos. That's
At
good.
the exchange once or twice a week, we kill them and haul off their bodies. Sometimes they hurt some of us first. They killed a guy called Jared a couple of weeks back. It was awful, frankly. Turns out, regular humans still bleed in here, even if the staff don't. We tried our best, but none of us are doctors.
And IKEA doesn't sell anything like
Jared
that.
was a good guy. He deserved better. We all do. It occurred to me that a couple of days after that, none of us were really looking for a way out of here. I don't even know where we'd start. One of those quadcopter things with a camera attached buzzed past exchange today. I thought it meant that someone was finally looking for us, that help was on the way. Apparently it's not the first time this happened, though. Same thing happened a few months ago, and everyone is still here. No idea if it saw us. It didn't stop if it did, just kept flying until we could no longer see it.
Note: based on recovery time of the journal, this entry appears to line up approximately with our first successful test piloting a drone inside SCP-3008-1.
Okay.
Analysis of footage shows a walled settlement under a sign labeled Exchange and Returns.
So that it was y'all.
Attempts to relocate the settlement failed. Origin of previously sighted drones is unknown.
Oh, okay.
I started talking to people about the stuff they miss from home during dinner today. Probably not the best idea I've ever had. Everyone seemed pretty down after.
Yeah,
A
dude.
bunch of people here have families. Husbands and wives, kids, dogs. Franklin apparently has a pet llama.
Lit.
Though I'm not sure I buy that. But apparently some of the people here have some seriously odd gaps in their knowledge. 3 of them had never heard of the International Space Station. 2 of them seemed to think it was the Prime Minister, and one of them had apparently never heard of the Statue of Liberty. I believed them, too. They seemed just as confused as the rest of us.
Right.
The more I thought about it, though, the more it started to explain a few things.
Uh-huh.
What if the reason no one is looking for all us missing people is because we haven't all come from the same place? This is gonna sound weird. Maybe that should be the motto for this place. But what if all the people here have come here from different dimensions?
Right.
Realities, whatever you call it. I've seen enough TV shows to know the drill. Sarah comes from a place where there's no Statue of Liberty.
Right.
They didn't launch a space station where Wasim is from. If everyone here came from different places, even from ones that seem identical, there'd be no huge missing persons panic.
It'd just be a couple of missing people from a lot of different places.
A search.
Oh,
Would
that's
just
really
be a
good.
blip. A single missing person in a world of non-stop news. Well, that was a fun train of thought. Just realized that yesterday was the 6-month
This is
anniversary
6
of my
months of
arrival.
a journal?
I wonder if IKEA sells party hats. The routine around here has remained more or less the same. More new folks show.
How you doing, love? Hey, outfit's looking banging. Banging.
Go up one every couple weeks or so. Food supplies go up and down, but we've never actually had a major shortage. Occasionally we get a visitor from one of the nearby towns, usually checkouts or aisle 630. We check in with each other from time to time, occasionally trade supplies if someone gets particularly low on something. It's comforting, in a way. A reminder that we aren't alone here. Some small glimmer of civilization. Sometimes they bring medical supplies. Apparently there's a pharmacy a few towns down from checkouts that gets restocked every now and then, so they share
That's
out
pretty
what
dope.
they can. I've never heard of an IKEA with a pharmacy
Yeah,
before,
me either.
but at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if someone stumbled on an IKEA organ harvesting lab. Would certainly explain the staff. Speaking of our faceless jailers, their attacks have been getting worse lately. 3 or 4 times a week now, with twice as many staff as there used to be. No idea where they all come from, or why the attacks have increased. We tried following one of them during the day a few weeks ago, me and Sarah. Wanted to see if they led back to a staff room
Right.
or something. Didn't seem to go anywhere though. Just randomly walked through the aisles. We had to turn back before we found anything.
Play.
Reinforcing the walls,
Pause. Play.
trying to arm ourselves better. Certainly no lack of materials to use. Wasim has been making more crossbows, but it's pretty slow going. Too bad IKEA doesn't sell guns. Never thought I'd say that.
Note: no new personnel have entered SCP-3008 at site in the time span indicated in
Right,
this entry.
yeah.
The attacks are getting bad now. almost every night, and with so many staff that the bodies almost pile high enough for others to climb the walls.
Wow.
I think we're in real trouble here.
I wonder what's going on.
I think exchange is done. We got hit pretty bad last night. Not many casualties, but the wall
You guys
was
gotta
wrecked.
move, man.
We finally figured out why the attacks have been escalating too. A box of supplies had a chunk of one of the staff in there.
Oh.
No idea how it happened, but apparently a piece of one will draw them, as well as a full body. Too late now, in any case. There's too many
That
bodies
sounds like
first
sabotage, man.
haul away and still have time to fix the wall before midnight. Candace has called a meeting. I suspect there will be talk of abandoning exchange. Maybe try and get shelter at the checkouts or something. It's already getting late, though. I don't think we'll have time to make it. Maybe some of us will. I was fine for that first week out in the dark after all. But then, how often can I keep getting lucky? I'm only writing this for a sense of closure, I guess. For me, or for anyone who finds this. If this is the final entry here, I hope whoever is reading this is doing so from outside of this place. My biggest fear. If I do die tonight, I'll just wake up here again in the morning.
Note: this is the last entry. It is assumed that while he was attempting to reach the checkouts settlement, he was separated from the rest of his group by pursuing SCP-3008-2 instance and happened upon the exit.
And then died. God damn it.
Oof.
He said oof.
I've been to IKEA a few times, and that guy's recollection, not that different from mine. Just saying. That place is a war zone. Also, why do I keep on getting assigned interdimensional SCPs? I don't know. Anyway, I think that about does it for today.
Okay.
Thank you very much for listening, if indeed you still are. And you are all dismissed. Go away. I'm just kidding. Goodbye.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, man. The IKEA store. That's intense. That's an intense one, man. Oh, man. She said, isn't this what IKEA normally is, bro? Only Swedish people can enter and exit safely. The store is now closed, they said, as they tore me in half. Okay, I'm sorry, but it sounds like it could be one badass and fun SCP game. Yeah, that sounds like a pretty fun. I remember I told you guys I played the SCP game before I knew anything about SCPs, and I did not understand it. I had a good time, but I didn't understand it. I got an IKEA ad during this. I feel threatened. My phone has a torch on it. European confirmed. Oh yeah, I figured out a couple of things as kind of exposed the fact that he's not from the U.S. Very serious SCP which has trapped and killed hundreds of people. Dr. Miller. Oof. Oh man. All right, guys, that was great. We're back to SCP Illustrated tomorrow. Of course, I'm shooting that now, but you won't see it now. Night Fight video is out. That's going to be great. History videos for Skitten are coming out. Those are always great. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.